Hey everyone, how you doing today? Topic number 3 with Jonathan Twomley is going to be an interesting one. So Jonathan, I don't know if you've seen this, but it looks like some distressed hotel assets are now being bought by developers and turned into affordable rentals, right? There's talk about them becoming the new C-class rentals. I don't know if you saw that. There was one example I saw today in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I didn't see it because you didn't send it to me, so it's your fault. But no. So yeah, no, I think I've been hearing some kind of scuttlebutt about this, or people have been asking, like, what do you think about this idea? And so I'm not surprised to see this happening. I mean, look, you can pick up these assets very cheap right now. I think especially some of these lower level hotels, mom and pop operations, maybe they're not flagged with a national chain, so they're not the hotels that have more to fall back on, right? Those ownership groups. And with the decline in tourism, they've just been whacked pretty hard, and it may have sent them over the edge. So now these assets can be picked up cheaply because they're in default.
Yeah. So let me just kind of give you the details. And by the way, I just forwarded it to you. So when you get off this call, you'll have it right at the end. But here's the story that you'll read in there. So there's a developer in Minneapolis who is in the affordable apartment space. And what he's talking about is, hey, in my market, you can buy these kind of C-class apartments for about $120K a door. What he has now realized is he can pick up a distressed hotel for $30K a door. He has to plan for somewhere between 10 and 12 grand in, because you got to add stuff to make it an apartment. Right. And now he has, an apartment building. Now, obviously you got to work with regulations because parking is different in a hotel versus a, multifamily. But frankly, this could be one of the little wrinkles for the nation's affordable housing problem, is turn these kind of outskirt hotels into multifamily buildings. I mean, it could help lots of people.
Well, it could. I don't see there being like enough of this product out there that it's going to make that big a dent. I see it more as an opportunity for individual developers to take advantage of, because there is an affordability crisis going on right now. It is very, there's a huge demand for affordable rentals, and building them, you can't build affordable rentals because it just costs too much to build. The tax credits that used to be available for building affordable housing have really been reduced over the last couple of decades. Yeah. So it's very, very difficult to build new affordable housing. This seems like a way you're not building it, which is why it's a lot cheaper, right? You're just taking an existing structure and you just have to do some modifications. But the hotels are great because they've already got the plumbing, right? Which is a huge thing, right? Yeah. The plumbing is like probably the biggest expense to put in. So they've got the plumbing. They can make like these efficiency units probably very easily without a lot of having to do upgrades and stuff. And there you go. You've got some, affordable units that you can turn around pretty quickly. And I've actually seen this in upstate New York. I've seen there's a before the interstate highway system was built, the Catskills, which is like 2 hours from New York City, used to be 5 hours from New York City, and it was the big entertainment area and summer camp area, and people would vacation in the Catskills. So all these motels were built up there in the 40s and 50s. Then when the interstate highways were built, it just allowed people to drive a lot farther in, and so the Catskills kind of died. And a lot of as a big entertainment district, and now it's like a big second home area and whatnot. But all of those, the hotels that they used to have there, a lot of them just went out of business. A lot of them were converted into these kinds of, short-term rentals or, really modest affordable housing. So you see this when you drive around upstate New York. So I'm not surprised to see more of this happening, especially now when you can buy these things at a big discount to, buying existing product or building it. So
yeah, you'll see in the article, they talk about another deal in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The hotel last appraised at $6 million. He's going to pick it up for just over $3 million. Again,
Wow.
50% discount, 50% haircut. And that's a loan. That's not even, a value. So again, I think it's going to be, like you said, I don't know if it solves nationally the problem of affordable housing, but it will make some developers wildly rich.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think it's, and the early ones too. I mean, of course, like
Yeah.
once this starts happening, then the prices are going to get bid up, and you won't see the discounts. So the early movers are going to, the people who already have the team in place to do this, will be able to do it successfully. But
yeah,
I'm not surprised to see this.
Yeah. So I remember very early on in this discussion, we were anticipating what would happen to some commercial assets and what would be the easiest lift. I have to assume a hotel lift to efficiency units is probably the easiest. The other ones we pontificated about is kind of malls converting to multifamily, or malls to storage, or malls to data centers. I think all of those are still possible, but they're just harder, right? I mean, I have to assume the efficiency thing is pretty easy. Basically add a kitchen.
Yeah, essentially, and say, as opposed to office, I know that, say, in Manhattan, the Wall Street started migrating to Midtown in like the 80s, and there's still basically none of Wall Street is really left on Wall Street anymore. There's the stock exchanges down there, but most of the actual the offices are all in Midtown, because it's a lot easier to commute to the suburbs from there. And so a lot of those old office buildings were converted into apartments, but they were mostly converted into condos and stuff, because the conversion cost is very high. You've got, if you think about it, for an office building, for that floor plate, where's your plumbing? Like, maybe you have 2 or 4 bathrooms, and maybe you have one kitchen on the floor, maybe not. In an older building, probably don't have any kitchen at all. And so putting in all that plumbing, not just building the walls and the layouts are very hard to change too. These these trading floors, where you have essentially, like a huge floor plate, but you've only got windows around the outside. Right. And you wind up with all this dead space in the middle that you really can't use for apartments because it has no windows. And, so making floor plans that make sense, and then changing all of the, putting in more plumbing is very expensive. So what wound up happening is they would make
luxury
very large apartments, that were luxury, where they don't have to put in 10 other bathrooms. Maybe they put in 2 other bathrooms or something, because otherwise it's just prohibitively expensive to do it, and you can't do it for affordable. But that sort of motel, or look, if you had something like one of those Embassy Suites hotels, or those courtyards by Marriott, that's practically an apartment already. Some of them even have the kitchens in them, right?
They're right.
If you could find one of those that, for distress sale, that's the home run right there. So it's going to be
fun to watch, because one of the things that happens in every crisis is there's some people that lose, and then some people make a lot of life-changing money. So it's going to be fun to watch. So Jonathan, I appreciate your time this week. 3 great topics, man. I appreciate it.
Awesome. As always, so much fun.